Hello YouTube travelers, how have you been? Welcome back to the Gentleman of Fortune channel. Today I'm in Johannesburg's OR Tambo Airport, where I'll be testing out South African Airways A330 business class. Hello YouTube travelers, and welcome to the Gentleman of Fortune channel. Join me on my travels around the world, and together we'll review the latest in flight and lounge offerings, find out how various airlines' first and business class products stack up, sample their catering, and indulge in their finest champagnes. Together we'll experience the best of the best, and maybe some more obscure ones too. So be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss a thing. And now I invite you to sit back and relax as we get this next adventure underway. Today I'm traveling from Johannesburg to Mauritius on South African Airways A330 in their business class. I was able to check in online and had the mobile boarding pass sent to my phone. With only carry-on luggage, I was able to bypass the chaos at the check-in counters and proceed directly to security screening. After that, in immigration, it was off to the lounge, which is located upstairs next to the Emirates lounge. As you would expect, South African has a lounge in OR Tambo, and as a business class passenger, I have access to the premium lounge. Upon entering, there was a nice selection of reading material, and then a hallway which takes you down to the main part of the lounge. The lounge features ample seating, as well as a nice bar, and great views looking over the tarmac. Here's the Airbus 330 that will be taking me to Mauritius today, as well as a Cathay Pacific Airbus A350. Turning our attention back inside, here's a different view of the lounge with an overview starting at the window seating area. In addition to the open seating, they also have some more private work areas. The food offerings were pretty decent considering the time of the morning. In addition to the food shown here, they also had hot offerings including eggs, bacon, and sausages, as well as a pancake station. All of the interesting tales provide some great views to enjoy with your first cup of coffee. All too soon it was time to head down to the gate, where I was able to board the aircraft via a dedicated air bridge for business class passengers. Here's a first look at my seat, 1K. I'm impressed with how chic and new the seats look. I can already tell that there'll be plenty of legroom and that this will be a fairly comfortable ride. The business cabin on today's flight is less than half full, and as it turns out, I'd have the whole first row to myself. Of note, in this 1-2-1 cabin configuration, the seats are staggered, with some being more exposed than the others. Now let's take a look at some of the features of the seat. Here we have the tray table that slides out for you. On the side panel, we have seat controls as well as a personal reading light. In this little cubby here, there's storage for the headphones, as well as a USB, headphone jack, and universal power outlet. And they had a bottle of water waiting for me. The leather on the back of the headrest features the South African Airways branding. And down underneath the armrest, you've got a vanity mirror, as well as the control for the in-flight entertainment. And down at your feet, the floor ramps up to meet the base of the footwell, which conceals a storage compartment for shoes or maybe a computer. Additionally, down there you have a literature pocket, which included the in-flight magazine, as well as an in-flight shopping catalog. At this point in time, the cabin crew came around to introduce themselves and also offer some more reading materials. And of course, I took them up on their offer of a welcome drink, in this case Samoa champagne, which was served with biltong. Soon after, boarding was complete and we began our taxi to the end of the runway. Our taxi routing past the domestic terminal provided for some interesting plane spotting. And finally, it's time for takeoff. We took off to the north before starting our turnout to the east and on towards Mauritius. Now that we're airborne, here's a look at the business class headphones that they provide. These have the 3-prong plug that plugs into the audio port over your shoulder. Before I stow the tray table back away, here's a shot to show you that you can move it fore and aft. While we wait for the meal service, let's take a look at the IFE offerings. There's a controller under the armrest, but the monitor itself is a touchscreen. There seems to be a decent amount of content, especially for such a short flight as I'm on today, and the screen is relatively responsive. One drawback is that the screen is very reflective, and it can be difficult to see sometimes if the window shades are open. If you're not too invested in seeing all the IFE offerings, you can jump ahead to the 7-minute 38-second mark, and that's where the service recommences. Hey, now we're talking. To begin the in-flight service, I was offered a hot towel. My tray table was covered with a white tablecloth featuring the South African Airlines logo, and I was offered an amuse-bouche along with drink service. Time for some more of the bubbly. Looking outside, I love the South African Airlines tail design, which they also have on their winglets. And we just happened to be passing over Maputo, the capital of Mozambique. Soon my starter arrives, which consists of seared tuna. Other options included salad or a tomato soup. They also offered this locally sourced salt and pepper, which I thought was a cute touch. I was offered a selection of warm bread and went with the garlic bread. That sounded better than the white roll or the brown roll with raisins. For my entree, I went with the oxtail, which was tender and flavorful. Other options included a fish dish, a chicken dish, or a vegetarian dish. After the entree, there was a choice of ice cream, cheese, or an apple and peach dish for dessert. Obviously, I went with the cheese. I also enjoyed an amarula over ice for an after-dinner drink. Now that the dinner service is over, let's take a quick look at the lavatories. On the whole, they were clean and in good condition, but there was no extra amenities or anything interesting to report on. Back at my seat, I looked out the window to notice that we're approaching the western coast of Madagascar. Fortunately, the views outside were fairly interesting because it turned out that the headphones didn't work. When I raised the issue with the flight attendant, they gave me the opportunity to sit in any of the other seats, but I was content to just look outside the window and watch the world go by. At the conclusion of the meal service, I was offered a little piece of chocolate. The next scenic point of interest on our flight was the island of Reunion. And shortly after that, we began our descent into Mauritius. Time to get those filters ready. There's the scenic Le Morne, and around the corner, the underwater waterfall optical illusion. Even without the oversaturation and the crazy filters, it still looks like a vacation paradise, doesn't it? And how about these incredible waterfalls? Take a look at these. So even though I had a hiccup with the IFE system, or at least the headphones, I thought that this was a terrific flight. The crew were very friendly, and the soft and hard product were both very good. Given the chance, I'd definitely fly on South African Airlines again. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, that you'll hit that like button and share it. Those two things will help motivate me to start making the videos again. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future content. And as always, until the next video, safe travels.